Good morning. In our Episcopal Church 101, and this will be my last installment for the year 2020, I'd like to talk about God's preferential option for the poor. In a recent interview on NPR this week, actor George Clooney was asked what he hoped he would give to his children as a legacy. And he said he hoped that they would stand up to and challenge those in power, and that they would help those who had no power. Now, this desire strongly reflects what is called in church circles God's preferential option for the poor. The phrase was coined around the time of Vatican II in 1962 as the Latin American theologian spoke out against the injustices toward the poor. It has been a core part of Catholic social teaching ever since. The Methodists tend to not use the phrase, although their position on outreach and social action is strongly oriented in this direction. Episcopalians will preach solidarity with the poor, and we are often very strong on social action, but we shy away from, shall we call it, the meek shall inherit the earth, because it tends to separate the meek from the not meek. Let's get two things straight about this. First of all, we should not spiritualize this by saying that the poor are those who are, quote, poor in spirit. That's nonsense. From Genesis to Revelation, poor means people who have little or no economic, social, or military power. Often they are oppressed and abused by those with power. Secondly, God's preferential option for the poor is neither a political movement nor is it Marxist, as Pope Benedict asserted. The Bible clearly shows that this is the work, the teaching, the lives, and the sacrifices of all the prophets and Jesus. We could spend all day citing Bible verses about this, but what got me going today was Psalm 72 from Morning Prayer. I'll read selectively some of the verses. That he may rule your people righteously and the poor with justice. Verse 4, he shall defend the needy among the people, he shall rescue the poor and crush the oppressor. Verse 12 through 14, for he shall deliver the poor who cries out in distress and the oppressor who has no helper. And the oppressed, I should say. He shall have pity on the lowly and the poor, he shall preserve the lives of the needy, he shall redeem their lives from oppression and violence, and dear shall be their blood in his sight. And then, of course, who can not forget Mary's response to the angel Gabriel's announcement that she would bear the Son of God. This became one of the most significant and ancient Christian hymns in the Bible. We call it today the Latin term, the Magnificat. Here's what the 1662 Book of Common Prayer, or the Coverdale translation, says, and I'll read it selectively. My soul doth magnify the Lord. He has shewed strength with his arm, he hath scattered proud in the imagination of their hearts. He hath cut down the mighty from their seat, and hath exalted the humble and meek. He hath filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he has sent empty away. We would do well to ground our attitudes and our behavior on the words of Jesus from Matthew. Inasmuch as you have done it to the least of these, which means the poor, you have done it to me. God bless you, and Merry Christmas.